Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone. Welcome to our video assignment for the academic speaking course. Today, Sarah and I will be discussing the Korean film Once We Were Us by sharing our thoughts and opinions about the movie. So, let's begin. Sarah, first question. What is your overall impression of the film Once We Were Us?
Honestly, my overall impression of Once We Were Us is that it's really emotional and kind of heartbreaking in a quiet way. Like, it doesn't try to be dramatic, but that's exactly why it feels so real. While watching it, I felt like this story wasn't just about love, but about how life changes people and separates them, even when the feelings are still there. It made me think that sometimes meeting the right person doesn't always mean the timing is right. And that part really stayed with me after the movie ended.
Wow, that's an interesting perspective. I agree that one of the film's strengths is how realistic and relatable it feels. Now let's move on to the second question. What do you think is the main theme of the story?
Mm, I think the main theme of the story is about love, timing, and letting go. It shows that two people can deeply care about each other, but life doesn't always let them stay together. There is also a strong feeling of regret and what if. Like, what if things happen at a different time or in a different situation? But at the same time, the film also shows acceptance that sometimes love doesn't disappear, it just changes form and becomes a memory that still means something.
That's true. The film does a great job of showing both love and acceptance at the same time. And for our third question, which character do you relate to the most and why?
I think I relate the most to Han Jong-won. Honestly, it's because I've been in a similar situation before. I've been there for someone at their lowest point, trying to stay, trying to understand them, and just being present when things were hard. At the time, it felt like it meant something to me. But over time, I realized it wasn't really the same for them. That's why I understand Jungwon. She also stayed, she cared, she tried to be there for someone she believed in. And when you care like that, you naturally expect that it matters, that staying will make a difference. But there comes a moment where she realized something painful, that sometimes love and effort aren't enough to change the situation or the person. And at that point, she starts to understand. She can't keep holding on if it means losing herself. Like, there's a train scene that really stood out to me. Like, she decides to run after him because she finally realized she can't stay in a situation where she doesn't feel valid. They meet there, and she's already inside the train while the door is still open. For a moment, he could still step in, but he doesn't. And she also doesn't step out. They just look at each other, and it feels like, without needing words, they both understand that this is the moment they have to let go. And what I find most painful is not that they stopped caring, but that they still do. It's just that everything around them makes it impossible to continue. So yeah, I relate to Jungwon because she loved deeply, stayed as long as she could, and eventually learned that sometimes the only choice left is to choose yourself.
Thank you for sharing that. I think many people can relate to those feelings, which is why Jongwon's character is so memorable.
Okay, now let's switch roles. Naila, here's the fourth question. What was the most emotional or memorable scene for you?
I think the most emotional and memorable scene for me was when Anho and Jongwon met again after being separated for many years. This scene touched me because it showed that they still cared about each other even after so much time had passed. And when they met, they remembered their past and all the moments they had shared together. And however, they also realized that their lives had changed and that they could not go back to the way things used to be. And I found this scene very emotional because it reflected a situation that can happen in real life. Sometimes people love each other, but circumstances, timing, or personal choices prevent them from being together. And the actors expressed their emotions very well, which made the scene feel natural and realistic. And it was the scene that stayed in my mind the most after watching the movie.
Oh my god, I really agree with that. That scene was very emotional and realistic. Okay, now for question number 5, what message do you think the director wants to deliver through this film?
I think the director wants to deliver the message that love is important, but love alone is not always enough. Relationships can be affected by many things, such as family, personal goals, responsibilities, and timing. And the film shows that people may have strong feelings for each other, but they still need to face the realities of life. Another message I learned from this film is the importance of appreciating the people we love. We often think that we have plenty of time with the people around us, but life can change very quickly. The film reminds us to value our relationships and make meaningful memories while we still can. And it also teaches us that every choices we make can influence our future. So we should think carefully about our decisions.
Wow, that's a very meaningful message. Finally, for our last question, do you think the characters made the right decision? Why or why not?
In my opinion, the characters made the best decisions they could based on their situations. Their choices were difficult and sometimes painful, but they had to think about their future and their responsibilities. Even though their decisions led to sadness and regret, they were trying to do what they believed was right. And I don't think there was a perfect solution for them. Like in real life, people often face situations where every choice has both positive and negative consequences. The characters showed courage by accepting the results of their decisions and continuing to move forward. Because of that, I believe their choices were realistic and helped them grow as individuals. This is one of the reasons why the film feels meaningful and relatable to many viewers.
Okay, thank you, Naila. I think that's a great way to end our discussion.
Thank you everyone for watching our video assignment. We hope you enjoy our discussion and gain a better understanding of the film once we were us.
Goodbye.
Goodbye!